Hey everybody, Merry Christmas, sort of. It's the week before Christmas. Y'all ain't gonna see this until probably after New Year's, cause, well, I ain't worried about anything right now. I am going to make sugar cookies. I had originally not intended to make cookies at all. However, my husband loves sugar cookies, and this is his, I don't know if it's his mom's recipe or just one that his sister had, but I got it from my sister-in-law. So this is the recipe that my husband likes. Calls for 2 cups of shortening. So I'm going to show y'all. First of all, start off with clean hands. This is the Crisco kind. It's the butter flavor. And each one of these sticks is exactly a cup. So it's already pre-measured. Yeah, I know, y'all. You can get the tub a little bit more reasonable. But sometimes, I mean, right now it's just, I'm trying to get this done conveniently. Sometimes you just a girl got to do what a girl got to do sometimes. So 2 cups. This is a double batch. And the only reason I'm doing it like this is because I thought it would be easier for me to use this as a base for some other cookies that I wanted to do. And I was just going to use this and then add the stuff to them. So, my mom actually makes one with the white chocolate chips and cranberries and pecans, I believe, or walnuts, whichever one you got. So normally she uses the sugar cookie mix. I'm gonna move this over because my sugar is in this canister, so I just didn't want to drop that. I'm going to need 2 cups of sugar. Like I said, originally I had not even intended to make the first cookie, you know, and the only reason I'm doing this is for my hubby, and I'm going to take some, and yes, this is clean, y'all. I clean this off several times a week, so I'll take this to a friend, about half a dozen or so, but mostly I will make these for my husband. So Merry Christmas, baby. Anywho, yeah. So anyway, sugar cookies. He loves them. They're easy. So we have got the shortening and the sugar. I'm just going to use a hand mixer because I'm sure most of y'all have one. Bring this together really, really well, y'all. I'm going to try to speak up over this thing, but it's loud. Now, that's creamed together, y'all. The reason I got out a hand mixer is because that's readily available to the majority of people. Most people are going to have that sitting around their house anyway. Not everyone has a stand mixer at home. You know, that's just how it is now. When I started the channel, I didn't have a stand mixer. I ended up getting one as a gift from a family member. So, you know, that was great. So we're going to need 4 eggs. I always keep my trash can fairly close. But, like I said, you know, and you can even, you don't even have to have one of these little hand mixers like this. You can use the old school rotary mixers. Some of y'all might have that. If not, you can do this by hand, y'all. Takes a little bit longer, and yes, I've done that because there's been times when I had none of the above, so I'm going to turn this back on. Okay, so now we need a teaspoon of vanilla according to the recipe, but I'm going to need 2 because I'm doubling the recipe. This is just regular imitation artificial vanilla. This is not a real vanilla extract, but you know, you use what you got. So if you got the artificial and that's all you can find, that's what you use. And I know a lot of people that if they have people in their house that have issues with addiction, they'll use this instead of the real one because the real one's got alcohol in it. Just so y'all know. If y'all didn't know the difference. Okay, now, I'm trying to educate y'all as I can, you know, and I try not to, you know, overdo on stuff. Anyway, next thing I'm going to need is about 1.5 teaspoons of salt. One. And about 1/2. And I try to set this stuff to the side as we do this, just so that I know that I've used it. I'm also going to need 1 teaspoon of baking powder and baking soda each. And with those, you want to try to level it up. All this stuff is leavening agents, so for those of you that are maybe new to making cookies, first-time cookie makers, or people that are just not experienced and don't do this, good way to learn. Best way to learn how to do something is to do it and not be scared. These, I'll show you. Now, the top of the baking soda box is what I used to level that off. This one on the inside here, if I pull all this foil, there's a little lip in there. That's how you're supposed to level it off with. You use the little lip. Okay, y'all. Now we got to start adding the flour in. So we're going to need 5.5 cups. And you need to sift it. It says sifted. If you don't know how to sift, get one of these. This is just a wire strainer. It's fine mesh. You can sift with these. I actually have an old school sifter, the one where you crank it. I do have one of those as well. And that's what I normally use, but a lot of people nowadays would have one of these. Especially if you cook, you might have one of those hanging around in your kitchen anyway. So, and again, you want to try to get this fairly well leveled off. Now, that's my 1/2 cup. And you just go back and forth with it, and that sifts. The reason being is when you sift stuff, you add air in, and it makes the cookies a lot lighter and fluffier. That's why they'll tell you a lot of times to sift flour and other ingredients as you bake. That's 1.5. Okay. All right. So this has got a couple in here. Sorry, y'all. Okay. All right. Yeah, and it gets the lumps out of the flour too, y'all. I mean, this is not going perfectly doing this, but I'm used to my other sifter, you know, the one where you wind it up kind of like a clock. You know, it's got a handle on it. Those of us who have been around doing this have seen those. Right, tell me if y'all have seen the old school sifters. I know some of y'all have. Some of y'all know what I'm talking about. So, that's 2.5 right there. And I try not to waste ingredients, y'all. Y'all know this. Hold on, y'all. Keep feeling a dang hair, and I don't want hair to get in my cookies. Okay, now we're going to add in more flour. So, here it is, almost Christmas, y'all. This is the first cookies I've made so far at all. I've not been making any cookies so far this year. For a reason, I'm on protest. I'm on the protest about making cookies this year. Okay. Yep. And I'm gonna tell y'all, it's, you know, I'm the one that does the cooking at my house, so yeah, I get tired of being the one that does all the cookies and the everything else that gets baked around here pretty much. My husband can bake a frozen pizza, y'all. That's pretty much what my husband knows how to bake. Other than that, he can microwave a TV dinner. You know. He knows how to do that. But my husband is not a person that cooks or bakes or does any of that. So I'm going to get all this in here. And when I get all this flour, I've got about another cup to get in here. I'll show you what it looks like after it's all beaten. Alright, y'all. At this point, I've got my cookie mix done. At this point, you can make a dough ball out of it, so to speak. I am going to refrigerate this for at least a good 2 to 3 hours. Possibly, it could be in there overnight, depending on how well I feel later today. And how much I feel like dealing with this. But when I get ready to roll these out and do the cookie cutters, I'll be back with that. Also, hope y'all have had a very Merry Christmas holiday. Let me speak on this a little bit. And yes, I've got flour all over my shirt. Try to be respectful of people's time, considerations during Christmas, New Year's, around Valentine's, other holidays. Please try to be as respectful as you can on people's time constraints, y'all. You know, everybody gets busy at a holiday, especially, you know, with family and church and other obligations that people, community obligations, things that people have going on. It's rough. It's time consuming. A lot of us are being pulled in a lot of different directions. Now, as for me, you know, I don't mind occasionally making extra cookies to do stuff. You know, I've done it for a long time, tried to do that, but it's not always feasible, y'all. So just be, respectful of that. You know, when you are wanting stuff, you know, just be respectful. If people offer to bring you cookies or give you cookies, say thank you, accept it with a smile, and go on your merry way. But if people can't do it right then or at all that year, that's also something, you know, everybody's busy. And they may have more need for their time that year for some reason or another. Anyway, when I get ready to deal with this, I'll be back. I'll show y'all how to roll it out, how to do the cookies, and we'll bake some. All right, I'll see y'all in just a bit.